Sure can. Good. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's excuse me. That doesn't sound very healthy. It's Sunday Funday. We're underway today. We're just waiting for the lovely young lady that helps me out every day of my life to join us here. While we're waiting for her, let's get set up on our mats. We're going to come to the center parts of our mat, our feet together, where we have a nice, soft, gentle connection of the legs, feet, whatever your version of. Some people with big thighs can't get their feet together. I get all this stuff.
Big thighs.
Anyways, for those people, just join along as best you can. Open the palms to face forward, spread those fingers nice and widely, draw the shoulders up to the ears. Take a big inhale, fill the lungs, and try to grow from the spine all the way out and up through the head. And then let the shoulders just kind of drop down. And then from here, I'd like you to try to pull from the center line of the body, the shoulders out and away from that center line, spiral the thumbs backwards, and then spiral them forward. So we're going to kind of corkscrew the arms forward and back as we begin to lubricate those nice shoulder joints, energize some of those muscles that help stabilize our shoulders. We're going to enjoy a nice class today. I like to kind of self-govern, make sure it feels body appropriate, act accordingly. As we now open the thumbs to face all the way backwards, let's draw those shoulders back up to the ears. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Bring the palms together. Initiate a little push, and as you inhale, keeping the arms in front of the face, I like to try to grow those whole arm structure, pull the shoulder all the way to the sky. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, swan dive it forward. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back extension and draw your booty backwards and give you some weight bearing into the heel of the foot. Make it more prominent. As you exhale, let the upper body flex down. As you inhale, extend the spine. And as you exhale, flex it. And continue on this pattern for a few more breaths. Let's everyone meet in spine extension. Let's once again focus the drawback of the hips. And then see if you can give me as much weight bearing where you can have very little weight bearing in the front part of the foot. Spread the toes widely. Let them rest back on the mat. And then come forward so you have the weight bearing more in the front part of the foot. And then draw backwards. As you draw backwards, I'd like you to bring your spine into extension. And as you draw forward, I'd like you to go into flexion. So extension back, flexion forward. Use your hands to stabilize so you're not toppling forward or backwards. Let's hold the back position, come back into extended spine, pull the neck long, take a big inhale. As you exhale, like you kind of tuck your tummy and tuck your tailbone under, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, one stacking upon the other. Rise up, draw the shoulders up to the ears, open the palms to face forwards, and rotate those thumbs backwards. As the shoulders continue to rise to the ears, sweep the arms to the sky, bring the palms together, and then lower them shoulder height. Make sure your hands nicely and widely separated. There's a little bit of push, so we can kind of feel those pec muscles of ours slightly active. Draw the butt back and begin to lower down into a chair-like type of position, and then stand tall. As we warm up our legs, we're actually warming up 3 joints. You know what they are, right? Hips, knees, and ankles. Yep, we're getting some blood flow into the muscles that interact with those joints. Hold down, separate the hands, shoulder width apart. I want you to engage your 6-pack muscle, like I'm gonna fire a big cannonball off into it. And as you keep that actively engaged, sweep your arms up and then lower them down and back. And continue that range of motion all the way up, all the way back. As the arms make the movement
I like you to control any break in the elbows so they're not bending. Keeping those nice and straight. Now hold up, rotate the thumbs to face the earth, spiral them to face all the way up as you sweep the arms backwards. Continue to rotate those thumbs and then bring it forward, up, inwardly rotate, up, back, down, exterior rotation. Do that a few more times. Now hold up, palms face each other, stand tall, reach for the sky, big breath in, exhale, fold it down. Come into your plank pose, whatever way means necessary. As you find yourself there, let's lower the knees to the ground. So we have a knee position well back at the hip. I'd like you to draw the hips backwards, kind of like we're going into child's pose, but I'd like you to hold just above the heels, and I'd like you to flex the spine. And as you come forward, I'd like you to pull with the center part of the spine, and then take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. As you flip the tailbones under, I'd like you to take your hips and let them descend towards the earth. Broaden out the shoulders. So we're not collapsing or internally rotating those shoulders. We're expanding. Now take your hips back, let the head drop down, flex the spine, and pull your booty back towards the heels. See how much farther you can go. Float it forward, center of the spine, floating us. Hips dropping, back of head, pulling to the sky, expanding through the chest. Take a second here, and then pull it back. Flex the spine, lower those hips, come all the way back up, and then step your hands underneath your shoulders. And make sure your positional awareness is that the knees are below the hips. I've got my knees separated a little wider than the hips. If you need to have a different variation of that, that's fine. Again, respecting our body, we're going to lower down, kind of more like a frog type of pose where we're lowering the hips down towards the heels. I like you to kind of just like rock it forward and back and see if you can kind of loosen up, get a little more flexion for those hips. Keep the spine long, keep that head or the back thereof pulling to the sky, and then like settle it down and then come back up onto all fours. Make sure your toes are tucked under, float the knees. Pull the hips all the way up to the sky, keep up to your tippy toes, drive the heels to the earth now. Shift the weight back into the feet. Reduce the workload in the arms. Push back on the tippy toes. Float the body back, shoulders over wrists, and knees descend to earth, but not upon. We're going to float the knees. So I'm going to rock forward, rock back slowly, pull the hips up and back, drive the heels earthward. Keep that spine extending. Imagine your tailbone is pulling to the sky. Imaginary strength, creating that pull. Now, float it back, lower the knees all the way down this time, and then walk the hands back, come into a kneeling position. All right, good morning. How's your warm-up going? All right, so draw the shoulders up, open the palms, sweep the arms back. I'd like you to bend the elbows and pull them backwards. So we're kind of got like a basic bend in the elbow, and elbows are really the pull point. If we expand through the chest now, like to keep that expansion, draw your arms into the body. So your rib cage is kind of where we're going to get some loving right now. And I'd like you to kind of love your rib cage by hugging it with your arms. And as you keep that activation, I'd like you to open the hands. I'm going to walk forward so we don't interfere with each other. And then I'm going to open the hands, palms facing the sky, and then squeeze as we internally rotate. Squeeze as we externally rotate. Do that a few times. Good morning, Anne. Anne's joined us. All right. As we open, hold open, extend the arms all the way out, palms facing to the sky, sweep them up to the sky, and then slowly lower down onto all fours. Great. Now, cat, cow, moo, and meow. Here we go. I know, I'm a poet and didn't know it. Flex the spine. Extend the spine. Hold the spinal extension. Let's add on to this. So here's the progression. Imagine the back of the head pulls to the sky. Imagine the tailbone flips up to the sky. While we keep that active, I'd like you to try to pull your belly button up and into the spine.
Keep that activation as we come into cat pose, letting the head descend and letting the tailbone tuck under. And then reverse this. Spine extends, and you know the rest, right? And then let's do this a few more times.
You can catch your breath. There we go. Now you can breathe.
All right, let's neutral our spine. Make sure your toes are tucked. Lift the knees, pull the hips up and back. Drive the heels. Walk the hands back to the feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the spinal extension, drift that booty back. Walk the hands forward. Big inhale and a powerful exhale, and let the spine flex and lower. As you inhale, extend. As you exhale, draw the hips backwards. Let's walk the palms onto the shins, and let's bend both knees simultaneously. Now, I'm going to hold down here and then set this up. I'd like you to push the palms into the shin and then extend the spine. And then keep the spine in extension, drive the hips to the sky. As we fold, we're trying to create a little more hip flexion, which is basically getting the chest a little closer to the legs. Now, as you inhale, extend, chest departs from the legs, draw back the booty, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, bring the spine back to flexion. So there's two flexions here, the flexion of the spine and the flexion through the hips. And we're doing two extensions, extension of the spine and opening up the hips a little bit as we do so. Now, lower down, flex both. Inhale, extend. Keep the push of the palms to the shin. Drift the booty back, don't topple. And then bend the knees so that the hips are lower. As we lower them to the earth, I'd like to take the left and right hand, extend them forward. Extend the spine. Engage the six-pack muscle. All right, now keep it active, lower, raise to standing, lower all the way down. Hold. Now in the next repetition, I'd like you to create an external activation of the heels. So you're going to try to rotate them away from the center line as you raise up. And as you lower down, keep it. Now, adding into this, keep that external rotation of the heels, raise the arms above eye level, push up, external rotation of the heels, lower down, external rotation of the heels. Rise and lower, keeping those muscles active. You should feel a little bit of burning, hopefully. Come on down, hold down, palms return to the shin, extend the spine as you straighten out the legs. Exhale, let the spine flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, butt lowers. Inhale, arms reach forward. Exhale, come up. Start the external rotation from the heels as you lower. Hold as keep the external rotation of the heels. Elevate the arms. Keep the external as you push back up. Reach for the sky. Big breath in. Powerful exhale, fold. When your fingertips arrive upon the earth, inhale, extend, go flat back. As you exhale, flex. Walk out to plank. Finding plank. We're going to do some scapular push-ups. Let's start with knees on the earth. Positionally, the knees will be back of the hips. We're going to lower the chest into the arms. And we're going to push up and flex the spine. So the center part of the spine is pulling to the sky. You're going to orient this with breath. Exhale as you rise. Inhale as you lower. Exhale. Flex. Inhale, lower, extend. Exhale, flex. Oh, lower down, hold down, come up off your knees, pull up and back to down dog. Float between plank and down dog. All right. Nice and slow. Tension through the movement is very important. We're not kind of thrusting forward or sweeping back dramatically. Hold in the down dog position. Push high onto the tippy toes. Drive the heels to the earth. Do that again a few more times. All right, getting those ankles more mobile. Love it. Pushing high to the toes. Driving the heels to the earth. Take the right leg, sweep it to the sky, and step it up. Framed by your hands. We have a separation of left to right. Stable for you. You found that. You're going to inhale, extend the spine as you step the right hand inside that right foot. Going to keep the spine in extension as you take the right arm and sweep it up to the sky, out at the side of the body. And then you're going to lower down and come all the way across and then all the way up. Full range of motion, whatever your range of motion is. Inhaling as you sweep up. Exhaling as you lower and sweep across. And then let's everyone meet in the arm up position. Drive that left heel to the earth. Grow that spine nice and long and see if you can get just a little more rotation of the shoulder to the sky. And then as you exhale, frame the foot. Step it back. Pull up and back to down dog. Drive both heels to the earth. Keep the right heel driving to the earth as the left heel opens the sky. And step it up. Frame by your hands. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale. I got my inhale, exhale messed up. Exhale as you rotate in. Inhale up. Exhale down. And continue. All right. Frame that front foot. Step it back. I think we forgot to move. We'll catch up with it later. Pull up and back to down dog. High to the tippy toes. Heels drive to the earth. Walk your feet all the way forward to your hands. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Draw that booty back. Exhale, fold. And from the base of the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Peel it up, stack them, open it up, sweep it up, bring hands over hearts, and good morning once again. Nama didn't stay in bed today. All right, take that right foot, step it forward. We have a narrow stance, relatively stable. Now, balance between front and back. I'd like to try to find a little bit of orientation, a relatively equal weight bearing in both legs. I'm high in the heel, or high in the toe, sorry. Heel's aiming up at the sky. We're going to take that back foot and we're going to drive the heel over the ball of the big toe to the mat. We're going to try and keep the knee straight. So we're just flexing and extending through the ankle with the focal point, the ball of the big toe being what we're rocking up and down and over. Pushing up, slowly lowering down. Very important that there's tension. So we're not just dropping into the heel, we're lowering down and rising or raising under. Who needs good grammar? It's Sunday. Very slowly. Now, hold in the up position. Let's take the upper body. I'm going to chop at the hips and lower down. So we have no spinal flexion, just spinal extension. Take that back heel, drive it to the earth. I like to take the front leg and bend it right now. So you're going to have a little more intensification of that pull in the calf. I like you to keep that as you extend the arms forward. So we have that back heel driving to the earth. We have that front foot pushing back, but we've kept the bend in the knee. Lean in a little more. Now arms, raise them and lower and sweep. All the way back, all the way up, and continue to do this for a few more repetitions. I'm spiraling my thumbs outward as I sweep backwards and rotating palms to face when we come forward. All right, now hold in the back position, upright the body, sweep the arms to the sky,
Bring hands over heart and
That's
step.
switch sides.
Yeah, and switch sides. You want to teach the class?
No.
Sounds like you do. All right, this is a narrow stance. Both legs are relatively straight presently. Heel to the sky. Start the exercise. Lowering down, raising up. Hands on hips, hands hard, whatever you prefer. Whatever's best to control the movement. Enjoying this. Make the focal point, the pivot point, if you will, sorry, that ball of the big toe. That's one of the important mechanisms for us walking. Our forward propulsion, believe it or not, is largely dependent upon that joint. And if you ever see people walk barefoot, it's because some kinetic type issues, but what they're really trying to do, or what their body is really trying to do, is correct for issues relative to mobilization. So that said, that's very important. Now drive the heel down, take the front knee. Now, before we do that, actually drive that back heel down. I'd like you to lean forward and then bend the front knee and let the arms shift forward. And now, same exercise, raising, lower and spiral. Inhale, palms face. Actively keep pushing from that front foot backwards, but keep the bend in that knee. Raising, lowering. Increase the range of motion. As you come up, try to get a little higher. And as you go back, try to get a little further back. Yeah, feeling a little bit of heart rate starting to build here. Are we getting excited? All right, hold up. Sweep back. Open the palms, upright the body. Sweep the hands to the sky. Bring them down over heart. Step the back foot forward. How's that for transition? Good stuff. All right, now initiate a little push of the palms together. We're going to draw the elbows back and into the body, and then we're going to shift the elbows forward. So interior and exterior rotation of the shoulders. We're just kind of mobilizing our scapula, keeping them active through the range of motion. Most importantly, we're maintaining a little push of the hands together as we flex the spine, shoulders move forward. As we extend the spine, shoulders move back. And let's hold back and release the palms, shake out the arms, open them to face forward, and step your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Let's angle the toes out to the corners of the mat. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, arms sweep to the sky. Now keep reaching to the sky, and sumo-like. Stance is a little narrower, but sumo-like, I like you to lower the hips down. And I want you to be mindful of what the knees are doing. If they're inwardly rotating or exteriorly rotating, I'd like you to try to keep the knees aiming over the toes. Range of motion question asked by Kirsten. How low do we go? We're going to increase the depth as our body allows. We're going to try to get lower, but when we feel the muscles compromising, I'm talking about the upper body muscles compromising, we know we back off slightly. Try a few more repetitions, see if you can increase the depth while you maintain upper body form. Going to hold down, pulse up and down, and then rise back up. Step your feet forward. Inhale, pull to the sky. Exhale, fold, and have a seat. Very active, opening, warm up.
That's the warm up?
That's exactly. That's just the warm up, folks. Gonna grab some water, grab some air, oxygen. All right. How lovely is that? Now, let's take that left leg, post it forward, and then bring the right foot in towards that left thigh. Just find a position that's good for you. Some people need further out than in. Most importantly, is the connection of the foot. So try to find an area where you can keep the foot flatly connected to the earth. The left toes aim up the sky. If you rotate it away from the body, just turn them in, keep them nice and active. We're gonna put our interlock fingers over the knee, cat, and we're gonna pull with our arms as we extend with the spine. And then we're gonna flex the spine as we continue to pull with the arms. Let the shoulders rotate internally. And as you increase the length of the spine, lift those shoulders back as you continue to pull with your arms. Spinal flexion, spinal extension, couple more reps. All right, let's relax the pull, switch up the legs, same setup, opposite side. Love to say that. Hand finds its resting spot, flexion and extension. Flex, extend, inhale, flex, exhale. Continue on this for a few more reps. Here's some getting all choked up by this movement.
That feels good.
Yeah, it's a good movement, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of nice muscles getting lengthened out. Okay, now relax the arms, step that foot out. I'm going to reposition on the mat. You might also need to do so because we're going into Pilates style sit-ups. So today I'm going to keep the feet wide and I'm going to hollow out and I'm going to let my shoulders actually rotate internally as I lower down. I'm going to take my arms now and rip them back behind my head and pull along the upper body. And then I'm going to drift my arms back up so they're over the chest. And I'm going to situate my shoulder blades so that they're relatively flat to the earth. Dropping the chin, the upward mobility begins. I keep the spine in flexion and dive the fingers down between the legs. Keeping the spine in flexion. Now extend the spine, pull with the back of the head. Inhale, exhale, flex it down and return back to your mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly down. Extend all the way back, pull long. Feel the lungs, see if you can peel the center part of the back up off the mat. And as you exhale, see if you can return it back down as the arms position over chest. Chin drops into the chest and we begin upward. And then extending through and diving through. Keeping that spine extending. Sorry, inhale, extending the spine. Exhale, flexing the spine. And then returning back down to our prone position. Supine. And as you lengthen, inhale, peel the back up, exhale, drift it back down, purposely coming back up under tension. Diving the fingers, extending through beyond the feet if it's there, if it's available. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, flex, and come on back down. Slowly is our journey today. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, come on back up. And I'm going to hold in our staff-like pose with the arms extending forward. All right. Squiggle those muscles around so you're on your sit bones. Keeping the spine long by crowding out the chest. I'd like you to draw the shoulders back and then pull them off the center line of the body. Palms are still facing. We're going to corkscrew the arms. We're going to rotate the thumbs down and then sweep and open up. Float the arms up as you make the movement. So they're going to float up and down. Still in the same plane. We're just rotating palms, which is in effect rotating the shoulder joint. Commonly referred to as the funny bone because it's actually called a humerus, but it's not really that funny, is it? I know.
I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No.
How did you not know that? All right, hold down, palms are, hold the thumbs down, palms are open to the side. Draw the shoulders back. As you inhale, try to raise the baby fingers to the sky, hold, and then Pilates style, lower it back down. Nice stretch there. Bring the hands over heart as you step the feet in. Now I'm starting hands over heart. If you need more assistance with this, you can actually lower your cupped fingertips to the earth, broad enough for the shoulder, but if you can, keep the shoulder blades flat, and then pelvic. Let's get down there. I'd like you to take the tailbone and try to pull it upward to the sky. And if you feel your gluteals starting to work, and if you feel your lower back, the skin, engaging a little more pressure to the mat, you're kind of right where you need to be. You're going to hold that inward rotation or upward rotation of the pubis, and we're going to peel vertebrae by vertebrae, the spine up off the mat, all the way up, as high as you can go. You've got a big gluteal activation. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lower it back down. Take your time. Very important not to rush this. These are small muscles and some larger muscles having to work together. Peeling back up, so you're just going to control the rate of ascent and descent and try to influence as best you can the range of motion on the upward push. I want you to be mindful that your push doesn't aggravate or compress the lower back. If you feel that happening, there's a failure in some of the muscles, and we're basically being told by our body not to push that hard. So I want you to be aware of that. Push up, hold up, hands extend up. A little more stabilization required from other areas of our body, but the arms out of the equation. Now lower the arms down, keep the palms facing, baby fingers touch as you inhale, rise with the arms and extend all the way back. I have a wall here, I can't do it, but anyways, lower down and raise. Try to keep those hips from descending. Lower, hold, take your feet, walk them together. Crowd out that chest, engage that six-pack, arms sweep to the sky, squeeze those thighs, lower down, thighs squeeze, arms rise up, arms squeeze, keep the hips pushing skyward, lower, raise, lower, and take vertebrae by vertebrae, that butt of yours back to the earth. Pull the knees up and into the chest. Lots of hip flexion, but we're really extending those gluteals. Feel that nice lengthening of those muscles. We're just working them. Open the knees, circle them one direction, and then opposite direction. And then rock and roll all the way up to a seated position again. And let me grab some water. It's the life force, water. All right. Going to bring feet to flexion. We're going to take our chest, make it nice and proud. We're going to walk the fingers forward with spinal extension. This isn't about depth or range of motion in the hips right now. It's muscle activation in the spinal column. Now, as you walk forward, I like to keep the nice extension of the spine. And if you feel the middle back muscles kind of working, perfect. That's what we're trying to get. So chest keeps proud. See if you can walk forward just a little more. And now we're going to bring the arms in. Just where you release, face them, and then lift them, chest proud, and then come all the way up to a seated position. Feel the tension in the muscles release. Lower the hands down, spine extends, hips flex, keep the spine extending, walk the fingers forward. Inhale, extend the arms up, spine and extension as we rise to a seated position. Exhale, arms lower, spine extends, walk forward. Keep the spine extending, raise the arms, unhinge through the hips, and then hold in this spot and return hands over heart. Pilates style. Roll it down. All right, step the feet in an inch or two. Let's make sure we have the heels rotated, sorry, heels separated, hip width apart. I'd like you to bring an inward rotation so the toes and the thighs come into touch. Now, one nuance here, the feet, I'd like you to flex them. So I give me as much flexion, and that means simply drawing the top of the foot towards the shin and give me as much activation. You should feel those shin splint muscles highly active. Keep them highly active. Squeeze the thighs together. Draw the belly in towards the earth. Route out the chest as you do that. Arms descend beside the body. And now I'd like you to make 2 efforts. 1, flexion of the foot. 2, squeezing of the thighs simultaneously. And then if you can now, just try to raise your butt up off the earth without changing the flexion and the squeeze of the thighs. Try to raise, hold, lower down, and then windshield washer the legs. So you're going to just basically use the heels as your hinge point. Open, close, open, close and hold. Flex the feet, squeeze the thighs, and get that booty up off the earth. Don't lose the flexion. Don't lose that squeeze. Try to get a little higher. Try to keep those feet flexed. Lower down. Windshield washer. Slow out. And in. So everyone meet. We're going to do this one more time. 3 times as our charm today. Foot left and right. Flex them. Squeeze the thighs. Proud out the chest. Keep those feet flexion and lift up that butt. Squeeze even harder the thighs. Give me a little extra effort right here. And then lower down, windshield washer. And then everyone extend the legs all the way out. Hands over chest, Pilates style. We arise all the way up. And then extend all the way through. Enjoy a nice lengthening of the low back, fascia and muscle. Inhale, extend, and come back into a seated pose. Water break. Cheers. The beautiful thing about controlling the mic is you can have a water break anytime that you want. But anyways, you can always take a break as you need. All right, so let's take our left hip to the left side of the mat and align it with the knee, kind of in the same line as the mat itself. Your best guess at a 90-degree angle in the knee, right there. Take the right leg, sweep it back, and try to open up so that you have basically a box shape, if you will. And I'm going to take that back foot and I'm going to scooch it out just so we have a relatively 90-degree angle in the back. Now I'm going to angle my body so it's kind of coming up, but I'm going to use my left arm for support here. I'm going to take my right hip, I'm going to rotate through with the support of my left arm. You're going to feel a little deeper stretch in that right hip, more internal or on the inside, and then I'm going to lower the hip down and then open it back up, or close it in, I guess. We're closing forward, opening backwards. Close, open, bring the right shoulder into place. So when you rotate forward, rotate the shoulder along, and then rotate back. The hip is lowering, but you're going to take the shoulder and lower back it also. All the way forward, all the way back. You can add an arm into it if you want to. Let's do this a couple more times. And then hold up. And then we're going to stake our left arm, bring it in a little closer, try to grow. Now there's a lot of lateral flexion in our lower back right now. And you should also feel those right hip muscles active, right? You got them? You're going to take your hand up off the earth and then lower back down. So we're just firing up those outer or external or lateral muscles of the hips. When we lift up, more load on them, more effort, you feel it. So hold up, lower down, and do that a couple more times. And then lower down, switch this all up, opposite side. Just like migrating birds, we're migrating to the opposite side of our mat, finding that nice alignment. Basically taking our 90-90. Using the right arm now, gonna rotate forward. Sorry, no, the right arm's planted, the left shoulder's moving forward. So hip drives forward, shoulder rotates internally, hip lowers, shoulder rotates externally. And you're gonna continue slowly down. Remember, tension in the movement. We're not just twisting and throwing, we're just purposely moving from point to point. You can add the arm into it if you want. Makes it look so dancey when you do this, doesn't it? Oh, it's like a deep dancer that just spilled his water. All right, hold it down. Again, we're going to start to activate a little more. I'd like you to take the right arm, lift it up, lower, and just up and lower, raise and lower. Do this as many times as you feel comfortable. Hold the duration if you want a little more. And lower it down. Let's bring both legs all the way forward and extend the legs all the way out. Okay, let's reach forward, grab the toes. Oh, sorry, grab over the toes. I'd like you to take your palms and see if you can get them over the big toes, small toes, any toes, and walk your hands down the feet so that you have your fingers down as far down as you can, and I like you just to rub up and down on the bottom of your foot. Just like you're tickling your own foot. On the plantar region. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. Why don't we do this more often? That's a good question. Anyway, so now we've got that feeling there. I'd like you to take the feet and pull them in. So this is like involving flexion through the ankle, pulling long and down. Same thing, you can feel a little tendon. It's very pronounced. You should be almost protruding from the skin itself. And that's the flancus, that's the muscle, or actually it's a tendon that you use when you walk. So when we're doing the exercises earlier, where we were rolling over the ball of the big toe, that's because the muscle that attaches to this foot that helps you propel gets some exercise that makes your walking a little more purposeful. And let's calm this, release that, come back to the seated position. You just massage that area is what we were doing. And as we come up to a nice seated position, your feet should feel nice and good. Maybe have a little bit of tingling, all good stuff. Foot flexed, chest nice and proud, hands come over heart. And then we're going to lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Oh, yeah. Those muscles definitely got work today. All right. Let's take our right leg, cross it over the left, and put the foot on the earth, and then draw the left knee up into it so we kind of have it pocketed. So it's just a different way of getting into this stretch. Now, left foot, the inside of it is our hinge. We're going to use the right leg to pull the left leg towards the right side. I'd like you to take the hip and roll it up off the earth. There's all that muscle tissue on the right hip. I want you to avoid going on to the bony part, just keep on the muscle part. And then I'm going to keep the left shoulder grounded as best we can. So just find the hip position that allows the left shoulder to remain grounded. Draw that left hand right above the shoulder, extend it all the way up. Try to find as much length. Pull with the shoulder, pull with the fingers, get that nice lengthening through that side body. While you keep that, I'd like you to take the right leg now and pull the left leg a little closer to the earth. And you should feel a nicer pull over that left hip. All right, let's roll it back up and extend both legs straight. Cross the left over the right, draw the right leg up, and then inside of the right foot is now the hinge point. Draw it towards the earth, keep the right shoulder down, extend that right arm above the head.
straight backwards. Pull with the fingers, nice and long. Take the left leg now and pull the right leg a little closer to the earth. And then come back up. Release the legs, let them extend straight forward. Point the toes,
You're out of time.
grab your arms and pull them above the head, grow nice and long. Fill those lungs of yours with air, and let's bring the arms back up over as we pull the knees up and into the chest and grab the kneecaps, forehead to the knees, rock and roll forward to back. Oh, nice little massage there. And I'm gonna extend my legs straight. You can cross if you prefer, but nonetheless, I'm gonna ask you to bring hands over heart so I can thank you and say, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
That's
for
it.
joining us. Good job, sweetie.
Alrighty.
There's Anne.